Would you rather learn English for free or learn English faster? And let me be more specific. Learn English faster. When I say that, I mean become more fluent faster. Although I'm also going to talk to you today about how you can speak faster. But first, I'm going to help you decide or actually listen to you, which is more important, learning English faster or learning English for free, and give you some hints on how you can do both of those things. So, welcome everyone. I'm Tanya. This is English Coach 3 T's, and I go live here every Saturday at 1:30 p.m. Los Angeles, California time. And I see some of you who were here with me just a minute ago are back. So thank you for being patient. I'm not sure what's going on with the technical issues today. Suddenly, anyway, it doesn't matter. Something is happening. Probably YouTube has got a glitch. A glitch is like an issue or a problem. I'll put that word here in the chat for you, a glitch. So if you've come back or if you're just joining me, and even if you have already written it, if you don't mind writing again, which is more important to you, learning English fast or learning English for free? So let's talk a little bit about these two options while you write your answer in the chat. Either write fast or free, because I want to answer how you could do either or both of these and give you some tips on what you can do. So, I think I said this earlier, but I think all of us would like to learn English faster and for free, of course. But let me say, one thing that will help is to figure out which of these is more important for you, more important to you. If you need to learn English very quickly because you need to speak it for your job, or there is a trip coming up, you're going to be traveling in a month, then maybe learning it faster is more important to you. But if you don't have any money or you have very little money to spend on learning English, then learning it for free will be very important to you, and probably some combination of this. But if you know which one is more important, then you can focus on that part. For example, if you were learning English or if you are learning English so that you can travel to a country where they either are an English speaking country or they speak a language different than yours and you will need English to communicate, then you might want to specifically spend your time focusing on travel English. Now, most people who are learning English are learning it because they need it for their job, or they know that in their career, they will be able to move up in their career more quickly if they know more English. In this case, you are going to want to have more of a balanced English. You're not going to want to focus on one type of English as much as learning English to become fluent in a balanced way. And because of that, if you start focusing on things that aren't going to help you, it's going to be slower. So you want to focus on things that are going to get you to your goal. So one of the number one things that will help you to learn faster is to have clear goals or a clear plan. So let me see here. I see Aldana says learning for free is important. I know that earlier when we were on the live before we had the technical issues, we had people both saying for free and faster. And earlier, Jeff had said you get what you pay for, which is also true. However, what I like to say is that there is a lot you can learn for free on the internet. And as a teacher, one of the things that I think is really cool, very exciting, is how much I can offer for free. Like this live is free, All of the content on my YouTube is free. All of the content in my Instagram is free. And if you have joined any of my free classes, for instance, currently I have a free class for women with an intermediate to advanced level of English called Three Secrets to Becoming Fluent Without Wasting Time and Without Doing Things That Don't Work. And I'll put the link in the description below so you can click on that and join that free class. And I've had other free classes over the years. So I am able to offer a lot of what I think is very good information for free. So why would anybody ever pay for a class if you can get all of this stuff for free? I think it has a lot to do with what Jeff said earlier, which is that you can get information that you pay for that may not be on the internet. But even more importantly, I know this may surprise you, there's so much information on the internet. A lot of what you get when you pay for English classes is motivation. The motivation means that you will show up and do the work, but also someone who will help you to overcome any obstacles. I'm going to put those two words in the chat for you. Motivation, you get motivation, and you can overcome obstacles. So tell me, if you have been studying English for a while, have you ever had a time when you felt like you were learning and then you felt stuck, like you couldn't learn more? Give me a thumbs up or a heart or a yes. Or if you really want to work on making complete sentences, which is a really good idea, say, yes, I have felt stuck. Or yes, I have run into obstacles. An obstacle is something that gets in the way. So you're learning and then there's an obstacle. So I see some hearts, and I'm sure there are some people out there typing their response. We'll see those here in a second in the chat. So what do? There are some things you can do for yourself. And there are some reasons why having a teacher who knows how to help you overcome that can be very helpful and help you get past it even faster. But what could you do for yourself that's free? Look specifically for videos that say overcoming English learning obstacles. And that way you will find videos that will give you some ideas and then decide which of these is going to be helpful for you. Also, you could stop for a minute. I know that doesn't seem like it's going to help you go faster, but almost always, if you stop for a minute and think about what the problem is, then you can find a way to get past the problem. This will help you to learn faster and for free because you can do this by doing more research on the internet. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about for free because I think we all know many ways to learn for free. If you know a way that helps you to learn for free, put it in the comments or the chat so that we can share that with everyone. So everyone can find ways to learn for free that maybe they haven't seen before. In towards the end of this video, I'm going to talk about a free resource that I already said on the other video, but it got erased. Um, and I'm going to share that free resource with you here at the end of this video, only because there are some people who already heard it. But if you already heard it, you can listen again because repetition is key. And I know that repeating can feel boring, but this is actually going to help you learn faster. So let's start talking about how you can learn faster. I already gave you one key element, even though that one is not as popular as some other ones. The other one is having clear goals or a clear plan. In other words, knowing what you're going to do, how you're going to do it, when you're going to do it, and having the resources you need. So, for instance, we all know that we need to speak more, but when we're doing this on our own, it can be challenging to find someone to speak with. I would suggest you watch one of the videos that I have on creating your own speaking plan. I'll put the link below. I'm going to make a little note for myself so that I don't forget. And use that resource to make your plan. And then the thing is following the plan. So this is one of the keys to learning faster, is consistently following your plan. You need consistency. In fact, when I asked ChatGPT about what you need to learn faster, this was the big thing that ChatGPT said, of course, because this is a very well-known thing. There's another key for you. Go ask ChatGPT, how can I learn English faster? Now, when I got the list from ChatGPT, I will say that I agreed with the whole list except for one, which I don't totally disagree with. Let me see if it's still here. I'll give you the list I get in just a minute. I'm going to read it from my phone. The one that I think, two that are, I would say, yes, but put them on the bottom of your list. The first one is using an app. You can use an app to become more fluent. Absolutely. The only reason that might slow you down, well, not the only reason. One of the reasons that might slow you down is that you start to think that using the app all the time is the best way. Using the app part of the time as part of your plan can be something that's effective, something that works well. But you also need to do other things like speak to people, write not on the app, write either with ChatGPT or write in a notebook or write on a document on your computer. Listen, you need to be listening to naturally spoken English like I'm doing here, like I do on all of my videos, like you can find on podcasts. There's lots of places to find naturally spoken English. And listening to TV shows and movies and things like that will also help. So let's see if anyone has a question so far. Does anyone have a question so far about what I say before I tell you the other thing that I don't totally agree with ChatGPT? I don't disagree, but I don't totally agree. Let's see. Lucio says, I have obstacles in my own language, Portuguese. Yes, we all do. Imagine in English, I have 3 more languages in my life. This is such a great, pardon me, point. We have obstacles in our native language. So, of course, learning another language, a second, a third, or a fourth language, we're going to have obstacles. The thing is not to try to get rid of the obstacles, but rather, how do you move over them, around them, past them? How do you get past these obstacles is so important. Um, Jeff says, I think that if you are truly serious about learning a foreign language, you must commit. This is such a good point. And making that commitment is what will help you to become more consistent. And I think one of the reasons people or I should say, people have a hard time committing is because they haven't found something that works. And so they're looking for that. It's hard to commit to something that doesn't work for you or you don't think it will work for you. This is why in my She Speaks program, I work a lot with the people in this program to find out what is getting in the way of their commitment, what is getting in the way of their consistency, and this will help them to work their plan in a more effective way. Good point, Jeff. Let's see. Sira Shadi says, how to internalize what we already learn and be able to use it without overthinking. This is an excellent question. I wish more people would ask me this question. You have already learned a lot. The way I know that is if you can understand somewhere between 70 and 90% of what I am saying, you have already learned a lot. And so if you want to learn faster, if you want to get to fluency faster, a key point is to use what you've already learned. And I slowed down when I said that to make a point. To make a point. There's one of our make versus do, which if you didn't see last week, we talked about make versus do. So I will connect that below. But to make a point, to emphasize that we must use what we have already learned. So how do we do that? By speaking in whatever way we can. In other words, get out there, speak, start talking to people. You can speak with a language exchange partner. You can speak with anyone who is learning English. Will this help you? Yes, it will definitely help you. You, of course, can speak to a teacher or tutor. There are many reasons why you might do that or the other. Or you can speak with yourself. Speaking to yourself about things you've already learned with the words you've already learned will help you to internalize it, which is the question here, to get it inside of you so you feel like you can use it. Sira Shati, who asked that question, did I answer your question or do you have more questions about that? Welcome, welcome. If you're joining us, we are talking about which is more important to you, learning English for free or learning English faster? Let me know and let me know what your questions are. So here's the other thing that ChatGPT said that I don't think helps you to learn faster, and that was learn grammar. If you can understand me, most of what I say, not even all of what I say, if you can understand most of what I say, you don't need to focus on grammar anymore. When you first start learning a language, of course, you need to learn some grammar. Of course, grammar is important because this is what helps you put the language together, how to create sentences, how to say the things you want. Unless you are stuck or unless grammar is your obstacle, you need to focus more now on speaking and writing. So if you understand most of what I'm saying, you need to focus more on speaking and writing. Now, if you have a different goal that I don't know about, maybe you have a goal that you need to do something differently. But generally speaking, most of us need to focus more on speaking and writing. Oh, good. I answered Sira Shadi's question. Any other questions about this? So let's see if I covered all the things I wanted to cover today. Yes, ChatGPT says expanding your vocabulary is another way to learn faster. Yes, we do need to continue learning vocabulary, but don't focus on vocabulary if you want to learn faster. At this point, if you're B2, C1, even B1, yes, continue to learn vocabulary in context, like the series I have here here on YouTube, and I will also put that link below. Um, Start listening to stories where you can learn vocabulary in context, but don't make that your focus. Listen to those videos and then talk about it. Talk to a friend. Tell them about the story. Tell them about the video. Talk to your plant or your dog and tell them about the story. Talk to the mirror. Talk to a teacher. Talk to each other. These are great ways. And for example, if you have watched one of my story videos, any of the story videos, and there's one that you like, write it in the comments or the chat right now and talk to each other about it. If somebody writes something in the comments and says, for instance, I love the one about to tuck in, ask that person why. Why did you like it? Then you get to chat with each other. Mr. Bob Newell asked, what is the standard dialect of American English? This is a good question. I have what is considered a very common standard dialect, a common accent. But what I would say is there are many. And if you are looking at which one you need to look for, I would say if you're going to live in a certain part of the United States, you want to learn that one, or if you're going to work with people from that one. But generally speaking, if you learn American English, you will be able to understand most people in the United States, and actually most people in Canada, for sure, those two, but other countries as well. You might have to train your ear. For instance, the Australians have kind of a strong accent, and the British have a strong accent different from mine. But you can learn that very quickly once you have learned American English. So I hope that helps. Luis asks, how do I use ChatGPT? Luis, I have 3 or 4 different videos about that. 2 in particular. I will I'll I will put a link to one below. But if you are looking for those videos before I put the link, just go to my YouTube and write ChatGPT in the search, and it will bring up all the videos I have that I have ever mentioned ChatGPT, which is pretty much 90% of my videos since ChatGPT came out, because there are many, many great things that ChatGPT can help you with. Okay, so I was checking my list. So here's the list that ChatGPT gave me. Number 1, immerse yourself in English. I 100% agree. If you want to learn faster, you can immerse yourself, yes, by going to a country that speaks English. But if you do that, you're probably not going to get immersed unless you try. In fact, most of my students in She Speaks English live in the United States or Canada. And they still take classes because it's hard to immerse yourself in a country just because you live there. The best way to immerse yourself is to work on it. Change your phone to English, read in English, do all your research in English. Everything you do on the computer, do it in English. Talk to people in English. If they speak back to you in your native language, speak back to them in English. Take courses. Yes, of course. There are many good courses you can take to learn English. And of course, I think that's a good idea. Number 3 is practice regularly. I already talked about that. Yes. Number 4 was using a language app. I talked about that. I would put it like number 20. Find a language partner. Yes, I would say this is up at the top 3 or 4. Read books. Yes, read books in English at a level where you understand like 85 to 95%. If books are too difficult for you, read articles, read blogs, read short stories. We already talked about number 7, learn grammar, but don't focus on it. Number 8, yes, learn vocabulary, but don't focus on that at this point. If you are more of a beginner, yes, focus on vocabulary more than grammar. And there's more to that, of course. This video is not just about that, so I won't say a lot more. Set goals. Yes, and I would go further to say set clear goals that work for you, not just a goal that works for somebody else. Find a way to set a goal that works for you. This is another thing we do in She Speaks. So if you want more information, be sure to check that link out below. And number 10, I love it that ChatGPT said this: be patient and persistent. Yes, I also put in my top 3 to 5. They put it at 10. I would move that up above learning grammar, above learning vocabulary, because you've learned a lot of that. Now you need to use it and be patient and persistent. So I still want to answer your questions about this topic. But I also want to say a little bit about what got erased from the video. So while you're putting your questions or your comments in the chat, I'm going to talk a little bit about this. I will say first that if you have not given me a thumbs up, please do. And if you haven't written anything in the chat, please do. This actually really helps me to be able to do more videos like this. Yes, Sira Shati says, learning language is a lifelong journey. Yes, you're absolutely right. I'm still learning English. In fact, I have been listening to a podcast about the history of English. I'm learning a lot. And I will continue to learn about English for the rest of my life and my second language, Spanish. And hopefully, I'll get to learn some more about my third and fourth language, German and Korean, which is going so slow for me right now because I'm focusing on Spanish and English. Um, but I wanted to share with you, if you want to speak more quickly versus learn to speak more quickly. Um, in other words, when you're speaking, you want to speak more quickly like I'm doing right now. Then I have a series on Instagram called Speak with Tanya. It's hashtag Speak with Tanya. I have more than 50 videos, pardon me, over there. It's totally free. I get nothing for you if you use them. There's no benefit to me, but there is a lot of benefit to you. And the benefit is that you can learn to connect speech, which is going to help you to understand more when you listen and speak more quickly. Um, so, this is a very important thing if you want to speak at a faster rate. When you're speaking to someone, you want to speak more quickly. Then you want to practice, 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 work on connected speech. And there was something else I said. Now I can't remember the other thing that I said. But those two are very important. Is practice. Oh, shadowing, which in with the Speak with Tanya, you will be shadowing when you are doing that. So shadowing is just copying what I say or the person you're listening to is saying. Listen, say it. You can listen while you're listening, like you're doing here, or you can get a recording, listen, pause, repeat what they say. Listen, pause, repeat what they say. These are both great ways to practice speaking, to practice fluency, to learn all kinds of things. Actually, you're going to learn way more than just speaking faster. You're going to learn grammar and vocabulary and all those things that were on the list. But the really cool thing is it's a great way to practice speaking when you don't have anyone else to talk with. Okay, if there are any more questions, put them in the comments. I will answer those questions and then I have to wrap it up. I need to finish. Mr. Bob Newell says, did you read those books behind you? Yes, I have read the vast majority of those books. Yes, I've read, I think, all of them. There may be one or two in there that I still need to read, but these are books that I've read because these are books that I use in my classes that I recommend to students depending on your level. I have a lot more books. I'm a reader. I love to read, and this is something I do both in English and in Spanish. Sarah Shotley says, is pronunciation is important to master? Yes. The short answer is yes. The little bit longer answer is it's what's important is that people can understand you. And so you do want to be able to pronounce words so that other people can understand you. You don't need to get rid of your accent. A lot of people confuse pronunciation with accent. You don't need to get rid of your accent. I have an accent. The British people have an accent. The Canadians have an accent. Everyone has an accent. No matter what language you speak in, you will have an accent. And you do not need to change your accent. Now, if you have a job where they have asked you to maybe reduce your accent because it's difficult for people to understand you, that's different. That's a whole different topic. But most of us do not need to change our accent. We need to work on speaking a little more clearly and pronunciation. And this is the same as I said earlier, but I will finish with this. A good way to work on your pronunciation and a good way to learn English faster is to slow down. I know it doesn't sound like that would work, but if you slow down, speak a little more slowly, slow down enough so you can make a plan that works, you will learn faster. All right, I hope you learned at least one helpful thing today. Again, join us next Saturday. We'll be talking again about ways that you can become more fluent. And if you would like to take classes with me, then let me know in the comments, send me an email, or if you want to find out about our She Speaks program, is you can take the free webinar, which is at the link below. You can send me a message to ask me about it, or you can get on the She Speaks wait list. And I hope to see all of you there. And I will talk with you when I talk with you. Bye.